542 games I'm up to now. 1778, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score there. Opponent 5.5, nearly 6,000 games, that's really good. Okay, you get a counter there to make your first move, and that's the berserk button next to the clock if you want to try it yourself. It's not for me. So what is it, 25 seconds or something you get? Play the normal carro. I experimented with the Sicilian recently and it went horribly wrong because it's not something I normally play. No, I often take with the queen and the carro. The pawn is the more principled move. The engines don't like this, but it just gets you out of the more standard theory a bit earlier. Otherwise, we're just going to try and develop in castle, bring the knights up, get the bishop somewhere, castle, that sort of principle. Obviously, it depends what white does. Right, bishop up. So I'm going to bring the other knight up. Idea to go here unless he does an early h3. If I play bishop up quickly though, there's always ideas for white to switch, so I'm going to do it now. So there's just a basic threat on the board to capture a pawn, but it's a little bit risky. Okay, deals with it. So now pawn up. We just want to get the bishop up somewhere in castle. So we're probably going to end up coming back this way at some point. Bishop up here or here. This can be useful if the bishop comes down, which is very common. And then just get the king to safety. So he's gone there. So I could actually go here. Then his idea might be to go there, but he could have just gone there anyway. And it's given me a development move. But here, he doesn't have knight in. Bishop in, I can just take. So I think I just developed straight away. So that's a safe pre-move. So you can see the highlight there. So again, still aiming to castle. And get the rook centralized. So something like this, one or the other of these. I guess we could try and chuck the pawns up the board, so this rook could be useful where it is. Is it worth trying to chuck a pawn forward? So I can still get behind and attempt this. Yeah, let's match that. Just gives me a potential to push the pawn forward rather than keeping it back here. So queen up to break that pin. So rook here, and we'll probably see a3. And then I can maybe do something like this. Or I've got bishop down, but I quite like centralizing the rook, so I get them relatively central. We're just creating a basic threat again to get rid of the bishop. He could play a knight in, I can still play a bishop back. Well, he's kicked the bishop back anyhow, so I do actually have knight up then. Then I can take this bishop, and if he takes here, I'd be really pleased, so I don't think he will. So knight up is my candidate move. So is there any reason not to do that? If you take, I simply take back. You still have to move your queen, so that might be an idea actually. Takes. So knight up, bishop takes. Knight takes is essentially forced. Then you're going to move your queen somewhere, but you're still attacking my knight and my bishop. So I'll probably drop the knight back, let you take, and I'll take here. That feels alright to me. It loses a pawn, but I'm going to do it. If he does it, it loses a pawn, but it opens up the king's defenses, I think. Okay, he's just dropped back quickly. Okay, in that case, I'm just going to take the bishop. Now I'm going to drop my bishop back. So this could become a problem at some point, not quite sure how to deal with that just yet. Depends where the queen goes. I could try and just chuck these pawns up the board before he gets very quick here. Or maybe a pawn up immediately, so when the knight comes in I can drop back. So here takes rook across, and we're getting in potentially, so I like the look of that. Here takes rook across. There's no queen to any of these. You could go here and I'm safe to take. So he's not quite trapped, but it's a tempo move. We're developing a pawn. If he takes, we go across and we try and crash through. This rook is still guarded should he get an attack on it. If he retreats, then I can get another tempo potentially, just advancing a pawn. And yeah, I'm still looking at h6. h5 feels a bit bold, especially with g5. Oh, he's taken. Okay. So he'll have to go here, and then he's still got a square, so he's not actually trapped, is he? Is it potential to trap? I'm looking at knight back with an idea rook across, but knight back, I'm assuming you can just play knight down. Okay. I don't think I can trap. I think I just take the pawn. Here, immediately you can go there. I don't like the look of that yet. I don't see it. I don't want to burn all the clocks. I'm just going to take the pawn. Still guarded for now. I need to still push a pawn to give my king a square, give the bishop a potential square. Knight in is pretty certain to come at some point. Okay, he's just pushed there. If I take, he hits the two pieces. I don't like the look of that. That's a good move, isn't it? Ah, maybe I've just got queen back. Or queen forward, actually. And then I'm threatening to take two knights for rook. That looks good. So queen forward. If you take, I can take back with the knight. My rook's a bit loose then, but I'm threatening to capture, I think. This might be a mistake, but the queen feels safe here. I'm threatening to win two knights for a rook. Say you push a pawn on it. Could be a queen. It could be a very fast pawn. But there is a threat there to counter. My rook's guarded for a move. There is a pawn loose here, of course. But if you defend the knight now, my idea is I can then safely capture back. Yeah, so the rook's come forward. So now if I take and you take, I actually take the rook. Now I've also got bishop up here, which looks strong. So bishop up looks a strong move to me. There's no rook to attack the queen. If you hit my bishop, I can simply take, I think. And it gets my bishop out of a sticky position as well. Knight up might even be a strong move here. I've just got to watch out for IDs attacking. So I'm favouring bishop up. If rook up, just simply bishop takes or pawn takes. Pawn takes maybe. You take here. So bishop up, that's my candidate move. I'm assuming rook up. Bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Yeah, is there anything better? Knight up immediately. You can't take because I take the rook. I assume you can't take. Maybe you can. Knight up though leaves me vulnerable to a move like queen across. I guess rook back. Knight up might be the better principled move. I'm not sure, but like I said, bishop up is just the relatively safety first move. So I'm going to do that one, I think. I really want to play this though. I really want to go here. Knight takes, take the rook. Knight down, across. Knight in, where does he go? Rook across, I've got this. Let's say stuff it, let's do it, shall we? I can play a rook across if I have to. If he's got some sort of quick attack, I can play a rook across and try and guard, I hope. It might be a blunder. My instincts were to do this one and go relative safety first, but I could see this pawn was going to fall. The risk and reward. But again, we're threatening to simply capture a knight now. Should you take or push, then I think we simply take. So here, takes. What if you just ignore it? Or guess you can't, can you? Everything trades off and then you push down. I think I'm in time to stop the pawn, but we'll find out. Oh, he's played the rook there, so I thought that allowed knight to c3. We're threatening to take this with a check as well. Knight here. You can't come up to attack the queen. If you drop back, I simply win the exchange. The rook can take. And then I think I can just simply grab the pawn, or even grab this pawn. Probably this one, though, it's a bit more dangerous. So let's not burn any more of the clock. Let's come across it the choice. I assume you'll have to drop the rook back. And then I'll just take, rook takes, and then it's whether I take this pawn or this pawn, I think. This feels like the more dangerous pawn, at least for now, because it's further up the board. So take here, queen takes. Yeah, that's what he's done, he's gone back. Now again, have I got a nasty move like bishop up? I don't think I have. Say you move the rook across, then I'm not actually threatening to take anything. Let's just take for now. Okay. So bishop up now again. Say you move somewhere. I'm not actually then attacking the knight. So I assume I take and I'm threatening to push. That feels like the more dangerous pawn to me. It also allows my queen to come back and coordinate with my two rooks now if I need to. Knight takes here. I can just take this knight. If you take my rook... Actually, no, I couldn't, could I? You could just take and guard. We just grab the pawn quite quickly. So I assume I can just push on here now. I guard my rook in the process of kicking the knight. If the knight moves, I take this one. If you attack my rook, then I can come across. I guess he could have actually taken it. Maybe queen here he had the move. Okay. So do I just take this way? That feels sensible. If I take and you take here, I don't like the look of that. I'm just going to take. Go relative safety first if I can. Oh, he's gone with a rook. Okay. So take. It should be just about over now. It should be. I've just got to not blunder some silly attack here on my rook. Yeah, he's just resigned, yeah. Be interesting to see how that actually panned out and whether I made the right moves or wrong moves. Let's see what the engine says. We've got 27 moves in the game there. It's round about a little bit further on when I was wondering about whether I played knight up there correctly or not. Let's just see what it says. So it says in this position I'm +4 better. So what have we done? Oh wow, I've played a 98% accuracy and 70 pawn, lost only 8. My average is about 32. So at my level, that's about as good as it gets for me. Opponent's still 86%, just the one blunder, which you can see, queen takes b7 there. So what was that? Taking the pawn, yeah, it was a blunder. So it's essentially level. Its engine's saying drop back to e2, and it's given me suddenly a +3 advantage. That's here, and I've managed to maintain it and build it. The rest of the game. So was that the best move? So let's turn the engine on. Engine says play none of it, just play h5 and ignore all of this. I suppose white is kind of tied down there, but the engine is saying just play h5 there. Okay. So knight in. Watch that green bar go up when you can see when the engine's done its thinking. And it's still saying +4.6 better. h5 it's saying 5.6 better, so not the best move. Knight c3 was correct. Taking the rook was correct. And now h5 again it likes. I guess that's a sensible move as well, just to give your king a bailout square, just in case you blunder something. But taking the pawn again, it's still a decent move. It's not bad. Yeah, so here it's saying I should have played rook across instead of playing c3. So I wonder, yeah, queen across here was the right move. And suddenly I've lost some of the advantage. You hit the rook and you hit the pawn. So I had actually kind of made a mistake there. But the engine's just flagged it up as a mistake rather than a blunder. Actually, in accuracy, it's my only one of the whole game, isn't it? c3. So queen to c6, and it could have been a problem. So queen to c6, rook to d8. Queen takes and then take on a2, so I'm still +4 better, so I'm still basically fine, just not as quite as clinical, but overall a pretty good game, so very pleased with that.